Test, test. I'd ask legislators to please take their seats. Thank you, legislators. The April 12, 2016 meeting of the Monroe County Legislature is reconvened. At this time, we will proceed with the considerations of motions, resolutions, and notices. Will the clerk please read the next item on the agenda?
Item number 1, referral 16-0111.
Moved by legislator Michikay, seconded by legislator Draw. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 2, referral 16-0112BR.
Moved by legislator Howland, seconded by legislator Draw. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 3, referral 16-0113.
Moved by legislator Howland, seconded by legislator Draw. This again is to adopt. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 4, referral 16-0114.
Moved by legislator Howland, seconded by legislator Draw. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 5, referral 16-0115.
Moved by legislator Howland, seconded by legislator Draw. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 6, referral 16-0116.
Moved by legislator Taylor, seconded by legislator Draw. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 7, referral 16-0117.
Moved by legislator Taylor, seconded by legislator Draw. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 8, referral 16-0118.
Moved by legislator Taylor, seconded by legislator Draw. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 9, referral 16-0119.
Moved by legislator Draw, seconded by legislator Hebert. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 10, referral 16-0120.
Moved by legislator Draw, seconded by legislator Hebert. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? There being none, item carries. Next item.
Item number 11, referral 16-0121.
Moved by legislator Boyce, seconded by legislators Turp and Draw. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 12, referral 16-0122.
Moved by legislator legislator Zale, seconded by legislator Draw. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? Legislator Cayley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you to the administration. I forgot we're out of human services. I appreciate the information that came through today with regards to this contract, but I did have a couple other questions that I thought of, and I'd like to take the opportunity to ask them now if I could. Through the administration, through the president, my concern with this contract is that it is limited to 40 hours a month and roughly 9.25 hours per week if you work that out. And specifically, what is in the plan if the balance per month is used up and the Village of Webster requires services at the end of the month?
Through you, Mr. President, in our analysis of the village's past utilization of an outside vendor, they had been averaging 4 hours of utilization a month. So this current agreement would accommodate 10 times that level of usage.
Thank you. I appreciate the answer, but through the President, what if an emergency arose and their hours were used before the end of the month?
Through you, Mr. President, the figure that I provided earlier today that the agreement anticipated no more than 40 hours a month of utilization, and as I said, that's 10 times what the current utilization is not a cap on the total number of hours. It's just a plan for us to be able to look at and see what we can make sure that we have the ability to provide those services. If, however, the village on an emergency basis needs more than that on a short-term basis, we have the ability to provide that.
Thank you. And then through the President, if there were calls that required weekend service, would they be honored? Let me explain. The reason that I'm saying this is that it is not uncommon for systems to go down, and we are talking about servicing the town, the Village of Webster. So I have a lot of concerns with this particular contract, and not seeing it, and not seeing the ramifications, I'm having a hard time with it. So I'm asking for specifics that that we're able to provide, and are we going to be providing on a weekend if a server goes down? And would that be the county employee being asked to take service calls on the weekends after hours? Those are the types of questions that I'm asking here.
Through Mr. President, the process would be to triage it to determine whether or not there was a true emergency, and it would be processed through our normal on-call technical support availability, and we would respond appropriately based on what the village indicated their level of urgency was. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Thank you. And then could you tell me how many IT technicians we have currently employed in the county? Don't go to sleep yet.
Through you, Mr. President, approximately 6 techs.
Thank you. And Well, thank you for the information. I'm going to stop here and explain my vote. Being in a small business but in the industry, I'm not comfortable with the contract. I think that if we had had more time to consider this, and I would have a more secure feeling in this, being that both entities are allowing themselves to be safe, harmless from anything going on. I find it a hard thing to accept when there's the potential of a great deal of data loss on the side of the Village of Webster. And in my mind, even though this is a part-time position, I would prefer to see Webster hire a young tech and give them the opportunity for the job, even if it is considered a part-time job, and therefore creating a new job rather than using our services for an endeavor that may be seen as consolidation of services. But I think that we are not in that line of service at this point. So I will not be voting to approve this, but for those reasons. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? One. Are there any others? No? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 13, referral 16-0123.
Moved by legislator Howland, seconded by legislator Draw. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 14, referral 16-0125.
Moved by legislator Taylor, seconded by legislator Draw. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 17, referral 16-0150.
Moved by legislator Taylor, seconded by legislator Draw. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 18, referral 16-0124.
Moved by legislator Taylor, seconded by legislator Brown. This motion is to adopt. Is there any discussion? Legislator Morelli.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to explain my vote. I have no issue with the new commissioner, and I wish her the best of luck in her endeavors here in Monroe County. I do, Mr. President, have issues with the ethics. Once again, the ethics behind this administration are flawed. This is just another example. Trying to pull fast ones instead of just going through the process normally like we would. My friends Mike and Wendy Nolan are here tonight, and we all know how this administration's ethics have attempted to hurt their
Legislator
business.
Morelli.
Although certainly we all know how that ended when ethics went wrong. Why not play by the rules? Instead, this administration has decided to promise ethics in order to get elected, and now we're here.
Legislator Morelli,
and
how
delivers
is this
nothing.
pertinent to this?
Because, Mr. President, this is again another ethical issue, right? Instead of doing things right, we do them wrong. We ask questions, and the administration simply comes up with answers.
Legislator Morelli, do you have a question?
No, and I rise to explain my vote.
Okay, please keep it to the topic.
Mr. President, I am. This is an issue of
So
ethics.
far, you have
and
not.
I think, Mr. President, that this administration seriously needs to look into their ethics instead of just talking about it.
Thank you. Is there
Mr.
any further
President.
discussion? Legislator Felder.
My issue is, as far as I know, that there's never been a difference from the county's perspective between the Commission of Social Services and whatever title it is, the Health and Human Services here in the county. It's always been the same person. And I certainly don't have a problem with Ms. Crossdale. Her credentials are impeccable, and everyone I've spoken to about her has nothing but good things to say about her. But I don't see how we're going to have two heads of the same department. You know, in church we have a joke, heads is a monster. I'm trying to figure out who makes the decisions. We're going to have a month with two people around. That's the question that I have, and I'm probably going to vote in favor of this, but I have a serious concern about the way this is being done, because it seems to me they could have found another way to appoint it to something for a transition period. until June 1st, rather than having this confusion that at least I'm confused. And I consider myself to be a pretty intelligent guy. I'm confused by this because I never knew that that we drew a distinction between the Commissioner of Social Services and the Commissioner of Health and Human Services in the county, because we never have, as far as I know. There's only been one person in that job. For the 30 years I've been around Rochester, there's only been one person in that job. So I'm still trying to figure out what's going on here. You know, and that's the issue that I have. I'm confused. I'm concerned, and I feel bad that Ms. Crossdale has been dragged into this. But I really don't understand.
Thank you, Legislator.
Through you, Mr. President, I'll try again to clarify. The Department of Human Services is the department of the county, and the Division of Social Services is a division of that department. So one is a portion of the other. Department of Health and Human Services provides services to the county's residents that go beyond what would be classically defined as social service provisions. In addition, we previously had a similar situation for approximately 3.5 years, where Commissioner Kelly Reed was the head of the Department of Human Services, while Patricia Stevens was in fact the Commissioner of Social Services. So this, in fact, has a precedent, has been done previously, and is not anything at the end of the day other than to accommodate a smooth transition and allow Commissioner Reed to work with Commissioner Crossdale for 1 month's period of time to ensure that the residents are provided the services that they need.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Legislator Broth.
Through the President to the Administration, so technically speaking, Commissioner Reed will be reporting to soon-to-be Commissioner Crossdale for 1 month? Reporting too.
Through you, Mr. President, technically speaking, that is true. However, the Commissioner of Social Services have obligation under their commission to the state of New York.
Thank you, but through the President to the Administration, I think that Legislator Felder had a legitimate question about who was ultimately in charge, and technically speaking, that'll be the soon-to-be Commissioner Crossdale, correct? Through the President.
Technically speaking, that is absolutely correct.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? If not, at this time, I'd like to call for a roll call vote. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Marionetti? Yes. Ms. Cayley? Yes. Mr. Alcoffer? Yes. Mr. Ansello? Mr. Baroth? Yes. Ms. Boyce? Yes. Mr. Brew? Yes. Mrs. Brown? Yes. Dr. Carbone? Yes. Mrs. Conley? Yes. Mr. Delahanty? Yes. Mrs. DeFlorio? Yes. Mrs. Draw? Yes. Mr. Felder? Yes. Mr. Flagler-Mitchell? Yes. Ms. Harris? Yes. Mr. Hebert? Yes. Mr. Howland? Yes. Mr. Lightfoot? Yes. Mr. Michike? Yes. Mr. Morelli? Yes. Mr. Moyo? Yes. Mr. Rocco is excused. Mr. Shepard? Yes. Ms. Taylor? Yes. Mr. Terp? Yes. Mr. Wilcox? Yes. Mr. Zale? Yes. President Daniele?
Yes.
28-0, resolution passes.
Congratulations. Welcome. There being no unfinished business, Legislator Marionetti.
Thank you, Mr. President. We stand adjourned until 6 p.m. Tuesday, May 10th, 2016.